Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of Equality and Diversity. And today I have the amazing Andella Shuggs with me. Hello, Andella, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm really well, thank you. It's a really hot day, and I really appreciate your time for coming and taking your time out of your busy day to come and give us some tips and hints on you and what you've been up to. So thanks so much. Do
My
you want to tell
pleasure.
the viewers who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do?
So I'm Andella Shuggs. I'm an artist from Islington, North London. I rap, sing a little bit. I have produced, but I'm not currently producing. And yeah, I just bring vibes.
Oh, that's good. So how long have you been doing this? Like, has it been a long journey? How long have you been doing music?
I've been doing music since I was 9 years old. I've been doing it for about over 10 years. And it's definitely been a journey in terms of my sound, how that's progressed over the years, the type of music I started doing compared to the type of music I do now. And just the overall character building that comes with being a music artist.
And as being a music artist, do you want to tell the viewers a little bit more about how you identify and what you kind of do in the music industry and kind of what you represent?
So I identify as non-binary.
Yeah.
I represent the LGBTQ plus community.
Brilliant.
And I'm transmasc. For those who don't know what transmasc is, it basically means being more in touch with my masculine side as opposed to my feminine side. As you can see, I go to the barbers.
Good.
I wear men's clothing. I just carry myself how I carry myself, to be fair. I don't like to give myself labels, but it helps to some degree in society to help people better understand who you are. So yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And that's really inspirational. We don't get many artists like yourself on the show. So it's good to kind of have a broad range of people representing different kind of communities across the industry. And on top of that, you're also identified as a Black non-binary artist. So again, that has extra challenges and extra kind of things that come with it. So tell us a little bit more about the kind of challenges that you've had to face and barriers you've overcome in that 10-year period.
So I'd say barriers I've had to face being accepted is one of them. What you tend to find being an artist such as myself is that when people don't understand you and they don't know how to approach you, it makes it harder for them to take in your music, and to accept, the topics that you may talk about. For example, talking about women is something that is seen in the industry as something that men predominantly do. So coming from a different perspective, it can rub people the wrong way. Sometimes it may put people off just simply, I don't know, accepting your music, the topics that you cover, how you carry yourself, because they're so used to things being one way. But how I've managed to overcome that, I'd say pretty much just being myself. I think that's something that everyone should continue to strive to do. Like, do not change yourself for anybody. I know it gets tough sometimes being in such a niche demographic. You find that people, like, how do I explain it? It's like going to do an open mic, for example, and you're performing in front of a crowd and you have predominantly heterosexual acts. And then they see you come on stage, and one of the first questions that may come in someone's head is that a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
They just, as opposed to listening to the music and the messages or message that you're delivering, essentially. But just having to always remind myself that I've been given a gift and it's down to me to use that gift in the best way possible and you're not here to be liked by everybody, but the people that do like you and do love you and what you do, it will show. And in a show of, say, 50 people, there will be at least one person who loves what you do. So that is what will continue to push you further.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that advice. And kind of, how have you navigated your way around? Because like you said, you do many different things in the industry. So
yeah,
do you find that by doing different things, it kind of gives you a competitive advantage? Or do you find that it's better to kind of keep things together because you kind of are more in control? How does that kind of operate?
I'd say, how would I answer that? In terms of navigating in the industry, knowing that you have a diverse skill set is always beneficial for you as an artist, regardless of how you identify.
Yeah.
But being non-binary, it's like you already have to overcome that as an obstacle, because it's like getting people to understand that and then getting them to understand your music and vibing with you as a person. So I'd say in terms of how I've navigated it, I don't back down. Any opportunity that comes my way, I'm all for it. I'm not too fussed about what like other people are doing and how other people are like navigating their career and their path, because I'm a very strong believer of what's for me will always be for me, and people cannot turn down good music regardless of who's the person behind it. So you're gonna have no choice but to accept the vibes that I give you. Do you know what I mean?
I love that actually. That's very positive.
Yeah, you have to. Music in itself is a very competitive industry, whether you're in front of the camera, behind the camera. And yeah, I know people look at it sometimes as a competition, but how I deal with it is it's always you versus you. That's the only person that you should be competing with.
Yeah.
And you should always aim to just be the best version of yourself. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And kind of, like with your career, do you find the image and kind of perceptions has a big kind of barrier to you performing in certain places, or people understanding you properly? Do you think that's another issue that particular artists have to face and overcome?
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Knowing that you're walking into a venue, yeah, and say before you even open your mouth, people have one perception of you, and then another perception is built before, say, they hear the beat that comes in before you then open your mouth. And then you open your mouth and it's like, hold on a minute. You have a lot of questions, yeah, and you know what I mean, like the brain starts ticking off and you don't know what questions you want answers to, and you don't know how you feel about this. And
yeah,
it's definitely an experience. It's one that opens a lot of people's minds. But yeah, say the way that I carry myself predominantly, even though my pronouns are they, them, a lot of people, regardless, it will either be I get called she, or I'll get called he, or I might get called she and then he, or I might just be called strictly he, because even having pronouns, that being a thing, it's not pushed in the music industry. So that's also something that you then have to get people to understand. Some people are not open to it and they just see it as, it's either you're he or she.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be difficult, but as it's like down to you as an artist to keep pushing what it is that you want, and like teaching people how you want to be treated and how you want to be accepted and recognized. And I feel like if people have any like morals, then they would do it, yeah.
Oh, I think that's great. Yeah. And kind of another big topic is kind of mental health. And another big thing that I was thinking about is having to have to deal with the extra baggage as well. And obviously perceptions, and to kind of teach people different things and aspects Do you find that has an effect on your mental health and how you deal with your own personal situations?
Yeah, mental health advocacy, that is something that I feel should be spoken about more, especially it's like having to navigate your identity and still figure out who you are essentially, and then whilst you're doing that, having to then it's like figuring yourself out whilst other people try and figure you out, even though you haven't figured yourself out yet. Yeah. And so there's a lot of whoever listens to this, like I deal with something called gender dysphoria. So that's more or less like being assigned the gender that you were assigned, but not feeling like that gender. So you have a lot of mental battles, a lot of emotional battles with your body and how that's perceived by everybody pretty much. Being non-binary, being trans-masc, I wear binders, for example, and that helps to combat or to like settle my mental health, like having problems with it, because you tend to get caught up in what everybody else then thinks of you, and already thinking in your head, what do they think about my music? But now it's, what do they think of me? Do they like me? Do they not like me? Do they hate me? Do you know what I mean? And that can be quite upsetting sometimes. So it's essential to like always put yourself first and put your mental health first, because if you're not good mentally, you can't create essentially. So I'd say to always make sure that you're trying and ensure that you're in a good place, that you're surrounded by people that love you and care about you and support you for yourself, not even about the music, but just support you for being yourself. And that should help to like combat some of the burdens that you'll face mentally.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, and I totally agree with what you're saying there. And kind of, what kind of things have you got up and coming, and what have you been up to in the music industry lately? Do you want to share that with the viewers, what you've been doing?
So, like, I had a listening party at Tileyard, the gallery at Tileyard, at the end of April for my upcoming EP, Sides of the Heart. It's going to be a 5-track EP. It's dropping later on in the year. I'd say I'm going to start dropping around September, so definitely keep your eyes out for that. And I've also just dropped a freestyle. If you're a fan of Biggie and 90s rap, One More Chance freestyle is out on YouTube right now, so go and check that out. And just like throughout the year, I've got performances coming up. As and when I get those dates, if you link in with me and tap in, you'll know everything. But definitely, I've got a lot of projects, a lot of videos coming out this year. And just stay tuned for the journey, man.
That's super exciting. And it's really nice to see that you're raising the bar and obviously raising that representation, because again, representation is another big issue in the industry. And you having so many barriers and overcoming those and getting up on stage and creating and being yourself, I think is super inspiring and very kind of nice to see, very refreshing. Do you want to leave your hand? I
appreciate it.
Thank you.
So on everything, it's Andella Shuggs, so ANDELLA SHUG. So you can find me literally TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, everything is at Andella Shuggs.
Well, make sure your viewers check out Andella Shuggs online. I'm sure there's loads of exciting stuff. So if you've got any kind of up and coming events that you want to share with the viewers that might want to come along and listen to your music?
I'd say I know there's a few, but they're not confirmed at the moment. I won't tell you until it's confirmed, but I should have a few performances throughout August and definitely later on in the year. But I just had Catford Pride beginning of this month. So if you was there, you'd know it was a vibe. Big up Icicle. And yeah, just like open mics, I'll be around. You'll definitely see me somewhere throughout London this year and the next and the next and the next.
Keep your eyes peeled for Andella. Please go out, check, support, like, subscribe. You know, I like the vibes that you
all of that.
I really appreciate your
thank you very much
input to the show. Is there kind of any advice that you would like to share with the viewers on kind of if they were to follow in your footsteps, and there's anything you would kind of want to give back to the viewers on kind of how they could progress, how they could kind of succeed in the industry?
Ooh. I would say, first things first, be yourself. Don't change yourself for anybody. The labels don't love you like for you. They will try and change you to be what they want. But you need to always stay true to yourself. Take it one day at a time. It's not a race. It's a marathon, as Nipsey Hussle would say. Rest in peace. And believe in yourself. Like the sound that you create, it's not gonna be what everyone else is doing. It shouldn't be what everyone else is doing because it's what you want to do. And to just keep creating. Even if you're having a bad day, it doesn't have to get released. Sometimes, because I know as artists, we get caught in this, whatever we create, we have to release it. Sometimes you might just write something as therapy for yourself. It doesn't mean that the whole world has to hear it. Like, keep some of yourself for yourself and have that boundary with the industry so you're not just giving your whole soul away, and you should be all right. Like, just stay creating and stay true to yourself, man.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And thanks again for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. And I hope to hear more from you soon. And yeah,
definitely.
And we'll speak soon. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
See ya.
Bye.